I did have to do a little bit of winging it in community college at Pierce College when I took a political science course. And the assignment was during this election year that I happened to be in to go out and physically volunteer for some campaign and do knocking on doors or getting signatures or handing out bumper stickers or whatever it might be. I didn't do it. I was too busy working full time. So as it became closer to being due, I called my sister and I said, you're politically active. I know you are. By chance, have you done any campaigning, electioneering, or whatever you call it, where you might have things that you're handed out or envelopes that you're stamped or something like that? Because I have to do this assignment. And she got back to me and she says, no, actually, because I work for the Social Security, I cannot do that. And because you work for the Postal Service, neither can you. It's called the Hatch Act. And look it up and you'll know the answer to the thing. Great. So because we had the encyclopedia that went up to the letter H, we did have H there, and I found out about Hatch Act, and it was a federal law that prevents federal employees from actively participating in any political campaign. Fine. So I couldn't do it. So I went to the library and I did research on it and on electioneering in general, and relied heavily on one book by Abraham Rivikoff. But basically, I was able to then do an alternate assignment. What I did was I wrote a term paper on electioneering in general, how to do it and things like that. So I wrote the thing up, and then I did a cover letter for it to the teacher. It said, I really feel cheated. I really wanted to do this assignment so much, but when I went into the post office wearing a campaign pin, I got taken into the postmaster's office and I got chewed out for violating the Hatch Act. So I knew that I was not legally allowed to go off and do this assignment. So the next best thing I can do is to do a story or do a term paper about electioneering. So I've done that. Here it is. So it was a well written paper on electioneering, even though that wasn't the assignment. In the bibliography, I put legitimate books. I confess I did add one name to it. I made up a title of a book about electioneering, and the author, of course, was Stuart Hunter. That became a tradition with every term paper I ever gave, honoring my imaginary student Hunter. So I got out of that one. It was winging it, but thanks to my sister, I found a legitimate way out, and I was able to complete it and get a good grade in the overall class.